Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really appreciate that. I truly do. I want to talk tonight about, let's see. Okay, so Google reviews. All right, just a friendly reminder if you're new to the channel, that's how we get down here. None of our videos are scripted currently, and it's all just improvisational speaking. So tonight we're going to be talking again about Google reviews and how, in my opinion, I think they don't matter. Okay, so here's the thing, right? And this has been the constant problem, even with startup companies such as Yelp, such as Google reviews, such as, the ultimate ending of the phone book. I mean, some products you'd think are really, really valuable in terms of like they can offer a really cool kind of categorical, outlier that otherwise would make a person not buy something. And here's the thing, I don't think reviews matter anymore. And it's weird because it's an age thing, right? Like, I think older people look at reviews. For example, I spent a majority of the last decade before I lost access to an older YouTube account that I had, my first ever Gmail account. In fact, when I was had that account, there was a point where I was writing Google reviews from all the places that I had traveled, and there are times where I travel a lot, and so they can kind of rack up. But true story, I had a page as a Google reviewer, that had like 12 million views. Literally millions of views every month in an aggregate sense from all of the reviews I had done and all the pictures and stuff that I had taken. And let me tell you, nobody read those reviews. Like, this is coming from somebody who literally had like the eight figures going on an old, again, Google account, and there, the thing is that there's no incentivization for reviewers to actually leave good reviews, one, and two, there are so many bots that are able to sort of outsource the work of reviews. And three, I feel like reviews are antiquated like comments in that it's pretty indicative of your age and how you respond with and how you engage with the content, And I feel like people that engage with content on a level that is simply looking at reviews or going through comments isn't the kind of immersive experience that younger people, for example, go through now, in that their phone is their life, and not just an extension of self. It is basically a big part of ourselves, and so I find that, again, Google reviews in particular are notorious for a bunch of old people complaining about bad things, instead of obviously what you'd like to have in that, pointing out the good things and stuff about an establishment. But I think that it's pretty clear that unless you incentivize human beings, it's really hard to get them to just sort of like go shout out your business that it's so cool and everything, right? Because again, comparably speaking, in generational terms, young people are like, where's my money for doing this? And old people have been conditioned in a way that they feel like that's privied and like free information, when in fact it's not. Like, seriously, like, divulging your opinion and leaving a review about a business is something that, in theory, that business should incentivize its customers to do, one, and by incentivization I mean payment. Yeah, you know what I mean? Only because, and it's weird because now actually you can't do that, right? You can't, as a business, pay people for giving you good Google reviews, which again is sort of like, I think I think personally that comments and reviews are outdated and they're antiquated, and if there ever is a replacement medium for those two categories, I feel like it would be video streaming. Obviously, the reviewing of products, video wise, something that even Facebook on Marketplace has really, really tried to push forward. I'm not a fan of comments or reviews anymore. And it's weird because I feel like when I feel like that, as a 36-year-old millennial stuck in the middle of, four other generations that have other, ideas also, right, they'd like to see implemented into society or whatever. So, I mean, again, it's just, and so when that happens, I feel like, okay, well, I mean, that's the end of that trend. I mean, nobody goes on Yelp anymore. I mean, like maybe our moms and dads. And again, I'm almost 40. So when I say our moms and dads, I'm talking about people that are 60 plus, going in that age range. It's sort of like, nobody uses Yelp. Exactly. Like nobody has, it's weird. The only kind of times that stuff works is when, ironically enough, there's like a social stance being made, right? And there's been some sort of Karen, instance that's occurred at a place, and that's the only time that the reviews matter in that sort of congregation, which is the takedown of places that act real bad, which in fact is in the interest of the consumer, but is something that's often shadow banned and blocked and flagged by the corporations who have the very opposite interest in that they want to promote these guys so that they'll continue to get money from them. So, yeah, it all works like that. But again, I really, really think that reviews and feedback, like, and comments are just something that people don't want anymore, and I feel like it was a hard sell to begin with. Like you didn't pay people. There was no recognition. I mean, all of the information that's gathered here, through our informed consent when we update our phones through our software updates and so forth, we already provide a lot of very valuable free information to corporations out there who monetize this stuff and make billions of dollars off of it. You feel me? So yeah, as a part of their grand sort of, scheme, I'd feel like we want to refrain from giving more information for free when in fact, like, it doesn't even matter for any other purpose than to cater to old people who want to see, how that restaurant was rated by some guy named Jimmy from Montana who was here in Albuquerque visiting and wanted to try our green chili. Like, that gets old. Like, literally old, in that it's an old thing to do and you're an old person if you do it. And the same thing again with comments, right? I mean, comments are now notorious, and for a long time they have notoriously been known as, a breeding ground for digital trolls to sort of try and kick up the pot in like the worst kind of dark humor, bullying way, right? Which is to just get at people until finally they're like, hey, that's enough of this. But seriously, reviews and feedback are, I think, again, ask yourself as you watch this video, I mean, like, I don't know, when's the last time you looked at a review before you bought something? You feel me? In that, did the review really change your mind? I mean, like, in that, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I'd argue that it didn't, in that if you felt like buying that product, you were still going to buy that product, even if somebody told you not to buy that product. I feel like even sometimes it's more invitation to buy it because you want to prove somebody else wrong or something. But, like, again, Google reviews, like, I don't know, shame on Google for not paying, what should have been paid to all of us who, went on and did all of those reviews and added all those pictures, for free. Not just, that benefits Google, it benefited the private companies, and then their sell obviously is that it benefits us, because, and it's sort of like, okay, well, does anybody pay for this? Like, who's paying for this? I'm very curious, You can find out a lot about people and stuff when you figure out where the money's coming from. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I think that, again, shame on Google, and for all the websites that do that. Like, legit, there's one website that I know of, that's a part of Amazon that actually does the opposite of that, right? Which is the only thing a company can and should do with, asking for reviews and people to do real work is, they have like an Amazon Vine program where they send select members products to test and review and leave feedback on. That's a viable service. I mean, you're paying people. You feel me? Yeah, people will be incentivized to write reviews, and be inclined to be honest about those reviews when a third party large corporation is sponsoring that transaction in, not the conflict of interest specifically from OEM, but like real honest reviews. And again, I have to assume that like people who are a heck of a lot smarter and make a heck of a lot more money than I ever will work at Amazon, and have defined these parameters as being the most successful, because otherwise, like you just end up with a bunch of returns, a bunch of unmonetized feedback, in that you may have all these returns, but then like why are they all these returns? Like what happened? You're going to have to hire as a corporation a test group at some point to figure out, or you could just, give it away and let people do what they need to with their honesty and so forth. And that is what will guide organic traffic in a meaningful way to ascertain information that will, in fact, influence your decision on buying a product. So, again, as a millennial, I'm making a stand now. I'm not reading any more comments or reviews ever. I just, again, like I've already spent like 15 years of my life doing that. No one's ever sent me a check for it. In terms of like, hey, YouTube pays. Google's owns YouTube. I get it and stuff. And Google's a great company for paying out in other ways and stuff, obviously. But a part I feel like they fit. I feel like they lack in, obviously, is that wanting free information part. And so, yeah, I mean, it's not like they give us any cell phone breaks because of all the. There's so many reasons, right? So I hope you guys have a really good night. Thank you for watching Vlogs About Nothing. It means a heck of a lot to me. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.